Okay, turn to page 35B in your packets. We're going to go through some of these geometry word problems. So the first problem says the area of the rectangle below is 120 square inches. What are the actual dimensions of the rectangle? You must write an equation and solve. So we know the area is 120 inches. We know these are the dimensions. I know area is length times width. So area equals length times width. Area equals x plus 6 times x plus 4. So 120 equals x squared plus 4x plus 6x is plus 10x plus 24. Now, I know to solve this that I must subtract 120 from both sides. So I set this side equal to 0. So that's minus 96. And now I have to factor this. So I'm looking for my magic numbers, two numbers that when multiplied equal negative 96, but add up to equal 10. So when I think of numbers for that 96 is divisible by, I think of 3. So 3 goes in 32 times. And when I think of 32, I think of 16 times 2. And I notice that if I do 3 times 2, it's 6. So 6 times 16 must equal 96. So my two magic numbers are 6 and 16. So I would make it a positive 16 and a negative 6. Okay, so now I know my numbers, and I say 0 equals x squared plus 16x minus 6x minus 96. So 0 equals x times x plus 16 minus 6x plus 16. And 0 equals x minus 6 times x plus 16. So my two answers are 6 or negative 16. And I throw out negative 16 because a dimension cannot be negative. Okay? Now notice at this step, once I found my magic numbers were 16 and negative 6, I could have jumped straight to this stage, 16 and negative 6, because this is a type 1 trinomial. Okay, so now looking at the next problem, it says you have a square picture that you want to fit into a frame. When you cut 3 inches from the length and 4 inches from the width, the resulting area of the picture is 42 inches. Okay, so here is a square, and I'm going to cut this picture. I'm going to cut 3 inches from the length and 4 inches from the width, and my new area is going to be 42. Okay? So this means x minus 3 times x minus 4 equals 42. And at this point, if you want, you can stop the video and try to figure this out on your own. So this is x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 42. I subtract 42 from both sides. X squared minus 7x minus 30 equals 0. And now I look for my magic numbers. I'm looking for two numbers that when multiplied give me negative 30, but when added give me negative 7. And those two numbers would be negative 10 and positive 3. And so I'm going to write x squared minus 10x plus 3x minus 30. I'm going to factor by grouping. This becomes x minus 10. Take out a 3, x minus 10. So this becomes x plus 3 times x minus 10 equals 0. So that means that my dimensions would either be negative 3 or 10. Obviously can't be the negative So my original square, before I cut 3 inches off and 4 inches off, was 10 by 10. Did they say inches? Inches. Okay. Now, let's look at the next one. The next one says, the triangle below has an area of 117 square feet. What is the actual length and width of the triangle? You must write an equation and solve. Okay, so the triangle is x plus 3 is the height, and x plus 6 is the base, and it tells me the area is 119. Now I know area equals base times height divided by 2. So in this case, they give us the area. The area is 119 equals x plus 3 times x plus 6 divided by 2. So I multiply both sides by 2, and I get 238 equals, I FOIL this, x squared plus 9x plus 18. And so I'm looking for magic numbers, two numbers. Oops, what did I forget to do? I forgot to subtract 238 from both sides. So 0 equals x squared plus 9x minus 220. So I'm looking for two numbers that when multiplied equal negative 220, but when added equal 9. So this gets a little harder as these numbers get bigger. But, let's see, I can do a factor tree with 220. 220, I think of 22 and 10. Then I think of 11 times 2 times 5 times 2. So I know that I have to use these factors to create two numbers that when multiplied equal negative 220. These are automatically going to equal 220, but add up to 9. So I notice that I could do 5 times 2 is 10 times 2 is 20. So 11 times 20. And 11 times 20, the difference would be 9. So this means 20 is going to be positive, negative 11, 20, negative 11. So 0 equals x squared plus 20x minus 11x minus 220. And then I factor by grouping. 0 equals, take out an x plus 20, take out a negative 11, x plus 20, and 0 equals x minus 11 times x plus 20. So my answer has to be x equals 11 because x cannot equal negative 20. So they didn't ask for x, they asked for the dimensions. So 11 plus 3 is 14 feet. So the height's 14 and the base is 17. So 14 by 17. Okay, and that's the end of page 35B.